During times of uncertainty, it's comforting to know we have a healthcare system in our community that's been committed to supporting us for well over a century. In this current time, we are standing together, and our bond is stronger than ever. KDMC, caring for our community like no one else can.
Hey, Nick, two things. First off, just your comments on receiving that honor from the SEC. And secondly, we talked about this earlier in the year, but the biggest difference between, being out there as a true freshman last year and where your level of comfortableness is right now as a starter.
I mean, obviously this is an awesome honor. This is something you really strive for. I mean, just to receive it though, it's been awesome. It's a great feeling. But I think that's the main thing is I feel a lot more comfortable out there this year, just a lot more confident, and the game's really slowed down for me. So I think that's just kind of been the main thing is a lot more mental for me this year.
I'll ask you the same question I asked AJ. Is there a level of frustration waking up this morning finding out you don't have a game on Saturday?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we kind of had an idea last week just because they didn't play, but I think, when you do hear it officially, it does kind of, it's unfortunate. Obviously, as a competitor, you really want to play every week. So, I mean, we'll get another chance at it. Hopefully, we'll get that rescheduled, and we can use this week as a week to kind of recover and get everyone back.
Nick, go ahead.
We've all seen the clips of you driving guys 10 yards through the back of the end zone and you finishing on the ground. Where does that motivation to play to the whistle come from for you?
I think that's just kind of how I was taught to play growing up by my brother and by my dad, and just all throughout high school. I think that's just been the main thing is finish all your blocks and be really competitive.
It seems like more often than not a play either ends with you on top of a guy or a guy trying to sling you to the ground in frustration. Where does that come from? What is your attitude on the field?
I mean, offensive line is pretty simple. Every coach ever has always said you have to be nasty, just things like that, finish your blocks and be competitive. I think that's just kind of been something I've always really took to heart.
Go to Parrish.
Hey, Nick, Lane told us grades were kind of like all over the map with the offensive line this week. I mean, what did you think of the collective performance against South Carolina?
I haven't really looked too in depth about how we played, to be completely honest. I watched it obviously, but as a unit, we didn't run the ball super well compared to how we have been running it in the previous weeks. That definitely starts with us. But as far as keeping Matt protected, I thought we did a good job with that. Obviously, he lit it up for like 5-13 or whatever it was. So in the past, we did a lot better, but we still have some things we need to clean up in the run game.
What goes into being a more efficient run blocking unit?
I think a lot of it just starts with communication, making sure we're blocking the right guys and, getting to the right backers, IDing the front correctly and things like that. And then a lot of it is just making sure from then on, having proper steps, using your hands right, and then finishing guys.
With no game this week, would you guys like to have the option to go home or leave town, or you think y'all are okay with just hanging around the program?
I think we'll hang around this weekend. Obviously, we haven't really for sure figured out our schedule this week. But, just me personally, at least, I want to stay this weekend, stay here, and get some really good work in this week. We had our bye week, last week. So, it's kind of odd right now just with everything that's going on.
Go back to Nick.
I know we hear a lot about backs and receivers and quarterbacks maybe doing something special for their O-line after a big game. Did they do anything for you guys this week or at any point this season?
Matt's definitely taking us out. We're big fans as an O-line of Wing Wednesday, 50-cent wings at Jinsei, so that's kind of been our thing. He's really good about taking care of us and taking us out to eat.
Just from your vantage point, getting to see the field the way you do, how impressive is it to watch guys like Matt and Elijah do what they've done this season?
It's really special what they've done. Not just them two, but as a receiver group, a running back room. I think it makes us want to block harder, things like that. When you got guys like Elijah and Matt making those big plays, knowing the big play capability that if we hold our blocks, plays can really squirt out like that.